Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Herd 37. So in our last flight, we flew down to KHTW, which is down near Huntington's Tri-State Airport, one of our old bases. And it's just across the river. It's over in Ohio. I believe it's Lawrence County, Ohio, I believe. I think they actually call it like Burlington, technically. Then I was actually going to fly over to our base, KCRW, there in Charleston. I think I just showed the landing. So I was going to fly some flights out of there, and I wish I hadn't flown over to there because what I didn't think about was Commodities. You know, we flew over to Huntington, or from Huntington to Charleston empty, so all we did really was cost ourselves some money. And what we should have done was just basically flown over to Huntington, picked up some stuff, and taken it over to Charleston, because I was messing around with Commodities today, looking at some flights and stuff, but then I clicked on Commodities, and I was like, there's some money to be made. So we're over here in Charleston, so I'm going to click on that, go over to Commodities, click on the airport where you're going to fly from, and you'll see, you know, of course, all these different flights. So all these different airports have Blu-ray players, either they're taking them or whatever. So green, obviously you're making a lot of money, daggone. So Blu-ray players, $106 here in Charleston, and they're paying, what is that, $172 plus $122? That's insane. Over there to Cincinnati, we should probably do something like that. I didn't think about it, but because I've got this other flight planned, we're actually going to fly back to Huntington. That's why we should have never left in the first place. But right over here, DVD players, right? So we're getting them for $95, right? And we can sell them for $112. That's plus $17, right? And I filled up the plane just a little bit ago. And I believe we have room for 749 pounds of goods. So let's check this out. 749 pounds of goods. Times, what was it, 17 that we're going to be making? It's $12,733 for a short flight from Charleston over to Huntington. That's a crazy amount of money compared to any of the, the jobs. So I think that's what we want to do. So we don't have a ton of money, but so the quantity, as you can see, they have 8,250 that you can buy. But what I want, we got to do 749. Type that in. I don't know, not base storage area. We're going to take it straight to the plane. So that costs us $71,155. So let's go ahead and buy those. And make sure they're in our plane. Now we've got to load them up. Make sure you get these loads. So yeah, on board we have 749 pounds. Well, 749 DVD players, but they count as, pounds. So I filled the plane up, as you can see here, to 20 gallons. So we have 117 pounds of fuel. It was like $34, I think, to fill it up. We're using more fuel when we fly Microsoft Flight Simulator than Air Hauler is actually calculating that we should. I got a little worried going to Charleston that we were actually going to run out of fuel, so it was a little worrisome. And no, I didn't record that whole flight. I just recorded the landing. Because I was actually going to fly. I had some stuff planned out of Charleston, but we ran out of time because of work. All right, so we are going to fly this aircraft ourselves, since it's not a job that we took. So we want to fly over to Huntington Tri-State Airport. Our old base, man. We know that place well. All right, so we're going to be VFR. We're going to take it down to 6,500. We are flying out to the west, so we've got to be on the evens plus 500. I will always remember that now. Man, last position. It says gate 1 small. But we are last position, so that should be good. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and go on over to Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right, everybody, here we are at the simulator for our short flight from Charleston over to Huntington. They say, 26 minutes? It's only 46 nautical miles. It should be a pretty quick flight. Got the plane all set up. Just zoom the details right here. So the wind is at 330 degrees at 5 knots. So we will be taking off on runway 23. I've got to go down here, though. You have to actually Got to remember to set up. This is where our plane is, not what runway we want to take off. So set that as our departure. And we're going to be flying over to Huntington. As you can see, the wind is at 320 degrees at 5 knots. We're not landing on runway 30. It's just like everything just got switched. I'm actually set to land on runway 12. Yeah. So I guess maybe the wind's just shifted or something because we had this all set up. So we will be landing on runway 12. That's a heading of 118 degrees. They do have ILS on this runway, 109.9. Airport elevation is 828 feet. So with that, let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. All right, everybody, here we are in the plane. I'm going to have to try this again. I went back to the home screen. And by the way, it now lists that that the wind is correct and that we are landing on runway 12 still in Huntington. So I guess the wind is shifting around. So we're back to runway 12, which we were going to land on. That's what it had it as first. So let's go down here. And it did have the wind changing in Charleston as well. But it is still runway 5. You know, I said runway 23, but I wrote down the 053 degrees for runway 5. And it is runway 5, not runway 23. Alright, so the battery is coming on. Pull that all the way out.
Aural warning, okay.
Alright, so let's go ahead and give her the fuel pump. Go full mixture. Open up the throttle so we do have fuel flow. Bring that back off. Fuel pump off. I've been looking for some procedures, especially today, and everybody has a different way of starting this up. It's different procedures and stuff. It's very odd. Probably don't even need to prime it, though. It's so hot outside. It's in the 90s, so it probably didn't really need prime. But beacon nav are on. Give her just a little bit of throttle. Go for the start. And the mixture. I kind of remember that from back in the day with the A2A simulations procedures. I don't know if I still have those. I need to actually look for those. That would be nice. Okay, we've got her started up. Let's go ahead and turn on our avionics. So we gotta go ahead and set the flaps to 1 notch. She's over. Get this inset off. And I'm going to move the range from 5. We'll put it at 10. Probably should have it a little bit further, but I'll leave it there at 10. So we're going to 6,500 degrees. So 650. And the heading of the runway is 053 degrees. Man, this thing has got me all turned around. I've been setting this stuff up and everything, and then it come in. I was in Flight Simulator before looking at the winds and everything to help decide what I was going to do, and then they start shifting around. It's like, damn. Alright. Parking brake coming off. Turn on our taxi light. And so we've got to go up here now. And let's jump outside real quick. I'm not sure that there is a taxiway. There's got to be a taxiway to our right. I don't know if there's a taxiway up here, though. Oh, hell. So I've been messing with that drone camera, trying to figure it out. Let's try this camera. Oh, that didn't work at all, did it? Yes, so right there. That's why I was trying to look for it the whole time. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi. I thought there was a ramp over there, because that's where we come over to park. Alright, so air hauler's got us. Gotta use a bunch of power to get her going. You can bring her down. I don't know how far back we need to taxi. to give us enough room to take off. Although we are a fully loaded plane. We are loaded 100%. Oh, that was terrible. I think we got it going a little too quick and I couldn't turn. I couldn't turn hard enough. But you know, it's not like we need the whole freaking runway. See, it looks looks almost like it's a crosswind, but runway 5 has been what we've been taking off on. So I guess that's probably pretty daggone normal. Although, like I said, I'd like to take off on 23 sometime and fly over the city. I can't remember. Might have actually done that in one episode. I can't remember. Like I say, it's been a couple weeks since I've gotten in here and flown. You know, I was flying in here, doing the landing in here to Charleston, and man, it was jittery. I think I've got the settings jacked up a little too high. Because, like I say, I'm also using this the video card to record X265 video, so asking a lot from it. We say we try to take off from here. I think this is where we've been taking off from. It's not like we've been going to the edge of the runway. Save us on a little bit of taxi time as well. Make the people who like taxiing mad, but I'm not a big taxier. I don't know what, this amazes me that there's people out there who are like, man, I like seeing a taxi. Alright, we are at full mixture. I did not see anyone in the area on the runway. Also on the screen we had one guy flying around, but he's well past us now. So, landing lights, strobe are on. One thing I almost forgot, two things I almost forgot. Switch it over to GPS, and also our transponder goes to on. Where is Bacchus at? There we are. Alright, so let's go ahead and get on the runway. All of our lights are on. Turn these back on real quick. Man, she does feel like a heavy plane. I'm going to go out to the left just a little bit. Give us a little more room. Yeah, see, it is a crosswind. And, you know, they took out the runway. The perpendicular runway. That's what I was talking about in another episode. I think our first one was like, why did they take the freaking runway out? Alright, I'm going to hold the brakes. Alright, here we go. Slight downward pressure. Just want to go to the left just a little bit. Airspeed is alive. It's really trying to go left on me. Let's go ahead and rotate. Oh man, we had all kinds of runway left. All kinds of runway left. Actually, more than I thought we would. She really is moving me left. I gotta bring her back right. I'm gonna go ahead and retract the flaps. I'm really trying to fight her off to the left. Got our nose down a little bit. Just kind of watching that airspeed, man. Right there at the edge. Alright, we'll go ahead and turn over the interstate. Daggone, it is bumpy. We've got our airspeed up. Oh, and then we put the nose way up, and that'll decrease it. See, I just wish we had more scenery. There's nothing to see over here. Well, there's more interstate, more roads. Trying to get closer over here onto the line. Whoa, plane, whoa, plane. Flight director, let's go ahead and autopilot. I need to get down here and look at this. Vertical speed. Let's get nose down a little bit. Oh, no, no. I'll start out at 300 feet a minute. Set that to nav. Although, why does this have us going to KCRW? I'm not sure. Autopilot coming off. I noticed that a minute ago. It has us going back to KCRW, which makes no sense to me. Even though it has, I just don't get it. Maybe it was saying that we didn't hit the waypoint because we didn't go all the way to the end of the runway. That's the only thing I can think. Very odd. That pulled us way off course, man. I guess we'll fly a little more over to the downtown area. Yeah, I noticed that before we returned it said KCRW, and I was like, in like 0.5 nautical miles, and I was like, what is it doing? But I think I can go down on that GPS and set it correctly here in just a second. Alright. Autopilot. Go over to heading. Vertical speed, 300 feet a minute. I don't know if I can do... Oh man, it's been so long. Oh, I can't... I don't even know remember which knob to use. To type... Can I type it in? KHTS? I cannot. Yeah, see, KHTS. I have, but it wants to go back over here. I don't understand it, man. I'll just get out of here. Odd, but that's all right. We know exactly where we're going. Or well, we did. Did you see that? It just clicked off. Oh my goodness. Now I'm in a little bit of trouble. Let's see. I don't even remember what buttons we used to use to type it in. Man, I can't believe I deleted that. Well, there we go. Let's go to K. We've got H. Well, we're learning on the go. Trying to remember how stuff goes. Now we're going to be way off to the right. KHT. Right there. Oh no, I had it. Activate. How do I hit activate? I mean, we've got it right there, but I don't know how to activate it. Yep, see, that's what I was afraid of. Activate, hold. You know what we could do? Move our range up since we're so close. 50 miles? I'm gonna actually take our heading back to the left a little bit. Why? I mean, you're right there. Oh, there it goes. I had it. Activate. Enter. Well, there it did come up. So it does have it. We can hit nav. Oh man, what a cluster, you know what. And we can go up a little bit higher right now. I'll move it up to 500. So we are 37 miles out. Alright everybody, well, you learn something new every day, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and speed on up. Be back in just a little bit. Alright everybody, we're back. As you can see, we're just off to the right for Huntington. I waited way too long to go ahead and get down. Flying right over the airport. Well, off to the side. So we're way too high. 5,500 feet. I've got her coming down to about 3,000. And we will be of course, landing on runway 12, heading 118 degrees, so we'll just circle around and come back. We're gonna have to anyway. See, the other thing I don't like about this, I just don't understand the range yet. So it looks like there's some distance between us, and it's like, no, it's right there. The airport's right there, and it shows us off to the side. It's very odd. Still don't feel totally comfortable with that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and put it at full mixture. I have been pulling that out. I'm not sure how well that's simulated, moving up your exhaust gas temperature and everything. I'm not sure if that's simulated well at all or not. But I have been messing with it, I think, on every flight. In fact, landing at KHTW, I have to admit, we forgot to go back to full rich. We still had it pulled out a little bit. 1,800 feet to go. To be honest, we could go down to 2,500. It's probably actually better. Depending on exactly how far out we get. We'll see if the ILS works. I don't know if I've got it tuned in correctly or not. I've got it 109.9. We shall see. Yeah, it's got KHTS, so I guess it's working? I have yet to try an ILS landing or approach or anything. In-flight simulator so far. It's got the glide slope on there too, well below us. So apparently it will work. Well, hell, it worked in FSX. Why wouldn't it work now? I'm gonna pull back on the throttle just a little bit. We don't want to go out too far. See, where's KHTW? It's actually behind us. See, I wish we would have just jumped over to Huntington if I would have thought about it, man, and got some commodities instead of flying back to Charleston empty. So we had 20 gallons of fuel, man, and now we've got next to nothing. And I didn't go at full throttle. I didn't when we were going back to Charleston either. So it's got us burning, a lot of freaking fuel. Well, this might actually have to be a tight turn. Probably or turn a little soon. Give us a little more nose down. So it is 118 degrees. What if I do make this a little more looping? Give us a little more time to get down. 118. See, the glide slope is still well below us. I can't see it. I'll go ahead and set her up to 118 degrees. There's the runway right there. Alright, so autopilot is off. We'll just go ahead and fly it ourselves. We don't need no stinking ILS. What we do need is for our speed to get down. I gotta pause it for 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I had to get my recorder set up. Let me bring my yoke up, reset my view, and work on getting down. Although our rate of descent is crazy right now. At 1150. So I'm more worried right now about getting our speed down because I need to get some flaps out. We're still high, but not as bad as we were. See, I knew I should have let her go out a little bit further in the turn. Oh man, that bounced me up. It was like we're doing good and then bounced. So we're just idling. There comes the
500.
Glide slope.
500.
Minimums.
Alright, so we can go ahead and get our flaps out. We're right at that speed. We're actually gonna have to give a little more throttle. Alright, we're at full flaps. See, that ballooned us up just a little bit.
100.
Whoa, we didn't need that.
50.
We're
40.
a little slow.
30. 20. 10.
So we got slow there at the end, so I had to keep a little bit of throttle in. We don't need to turn right here. We're gonna go on down. I guess we'll go over towards the building. There's parking over to the right. Retract our flaps. Man, there are no planes over here. Not that it's a very busy airport. Oh, there are some planes there. I'm not really happy with that landing. I mean, the landing was fine. It was the approach which was sloppy. But I've only done a few flights, so I've got to get back to where I was. Not that I was ever all that great either. But I'm definitely better than that. I just should have let her go out further before we made the turn back. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this off. Strobe and landing lights coming off. I definitely do not want to get over there by the fuel trucks. Although we've been setting it up at every flight, so. But man, in FSX it took a while to learn. Every time you get near the fuel station, man, it would screw us all up. I remember that a little too well. Let's go ahead and get down here. I'm kind of confused by the taxi marks around here. Ah, that's a plane. That's a plane. I'd like to go over there if this dude would get out of the way. So there's no taxi markings getting you down to here. I don't think they want you parking here, but you know what? We're parking here. They'll just have to deal with it. Alright, parking brake is set. Taxi light coming off. Go ahead and kill the fuel. Avionics off. Nav and beacon can come off. Ignition off. And batteries are off. Alright, let's go ahead and move on back over to air hauler. Alright everybody, here we are. Let's go ahead and unload this. Overland transport available to KCRD. Why would I want to take it there? We just brought those here. So let's go ahead and unload that. Sell this commodity to the airport. Absolutely. Okay, and we can finish the flight monitoring. Alright, so we took off at 20:01. Landed at 20:34. Seems like we got there a little early. Although I'm not sure if that includes the shift because that's done in Microsoft's Flight Simulator, not air hauler. So I think it did it real time. Takeoff fuel 118 pounds. Landed with 90, so it says we used 28 pounds. See, we used a little bit more than we actually should. So max altitude 6,507 feet, max pitch -8.24, max roll 28.4, max speed was 113 knots, minimum G 0.7, minimum G's exceeded 0, max G's 1.4, max G's exceeded 0, stall false, overspeed false, number of passengers was 0, satisfaction, all that, so that there wasn't anything. Landing description was smooth, gear down of course was true, butinous, I can't remember exactly how you say that. Was the surface. No damage to the runway, no damage to the plane. Came down to 89.1 feet a minute. Landing speed was 46.65, so we were slow. Landing pitch -3.6, landing roll -0.8, landing heading 119.5, wind speed 3, and direction 329. So we'll go ahead and finish that. And we should have made some money. So if I come over to information, we'll go over to finance. So we're at $122,000. I would like to find, I thought it was under company info. There, ledger. So we sold those for what, $83,000? We bought them for $71,000. Sold them for $83,000. So we made just over $12,000. Well, $12,700. A little bit for the landing fee and $34 for the fuel. So we made quite a bit of money, which is needed because I think it's got to be getting close to soon when we've got to start paying our bills for the base and everything. I'm not sure if it'll say exactly when it's due. Company info. Your bases. Does it say when it's due? Next rent due 3/07. And it's the 24th of June, so was that about 10 days or so? So I'll actually have some time. That's actually during my 7 off, so I have some time to fly anyway. But it doesn't cost us all that much. The monthly rental, $36,000. And what we say on the finance? $122,000. So we're sitting pretty. Yeah, monthly overhead $36,000. So we're still doing pretty good. And man, with these commodities, we can make a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? The commodities are really where it's at. Although I don't want to get too heavy into that because it's not cheating, but it almost feels like it's on some of them because you're making so much freaking money. I mean, that flight, Charleston to going over to Cincinnati, we were making over $100-something on one commodity. That's a ton of money. The only thing is, I don't want to get too far away from Charleston. So if we flew this to Louisville, right, you're making 18, which is pretty daggone good. Cheap. It's not too far away, I guess, from Charleston, but you got to be careful because I don't want to get too far away. I still want to do some jobs and stuff. We might do commodities again, maybe even back to Charleston. Although I don't think there's much here that they want over to Charleston. Well, there's one right there. The watches make 9 per. But I don't know what we'll do next. Maybe a job, maybe more commodities. I don't know. We'll just see where it takes us. Anyhow, that's it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.